show no favoritism over any team, and as you can see, I just scored a goal, so good for me. Alright, let's get started. So, reading this off Wikipedia, ice hockey is a contact team sport played on ice, usually in a rink, in which two teams of skaters use their sticks to shoot a vulcanized rubber puck into their opponent's net to score points. Ice hockey teams usually consist of 6 players each, 1 goaltender and 5 players who skate up and down the ice trying to take the puck and score a goal against the opposing team. So there is normally 1 goaltender, 2 defenders, a right wing, a left wing, and a center. To make it a little bit more complicated, the rules do allow you to take your goaltender out and put another regular player on the ice instead. But that usually only happens in the last minute and a half of the game if you're down by 1 or 2 goals. Alright, I'll continue with this Wikipedia article. A fast-paced physical sport, ice hockey is most popular in areas of North America, particularly Canada and northern United States, and the northern and western Europe. Ice hockey is the official national winter sport of Canada, where the game enjoys immense popularity. In North America, the National Hockey League is the highest level for men's hockey and the most popular. The Continental Hockey League, KHL, is the highest league in Russia and much of Eastern Europe. The International Ice Hockey Federation is the formal governing body for international ice hockey. The IIHF manages international tournaments and maintains the IIHF World Ranking. Worldwide, there are ice hockey federations in 74 countries. So, for people who think ice hockey is a very small sport with not a lot of fans, that is not true. It's a very popular sport, especially in Canada, which everybody knows, but also in Russia and countries like Sweden and Finland, and Czech Republic and Slovakia. There's a lot of players. A lot of countries really like the sport. So,
Solid clean win. Chip to Tarasenko.
Sorry about that.
Near the boards.
I am now going to read. I might come back to this article because there's a lot of time left in this game. I might come back to explaining some of the game, but I'm going to read off some records that people have set. So, most seasons played in the NHL. These are NHL records. Most seasons played. 2 players, Gordie Howe and Chris Chelios, played 26 seasons. Most playoff seasons was Chris Chelios. He had 24 playoff seasons. Most consecutive playoff seasons, there were 2 players, Larry Robinson and Nicholas Lidstrom, both had 20 seasons. That's a lot of seasons. Most games played, Gordie Howe, 1,767 games played. Most games played, including the playoffs, was Mark Messier with 1,992 games played. The most playoff games played was Chris Chelios with 266 games. Most games played in a single NHL season, not including the playoffs, there were 2, Jimmy Carson and Bob Kudelski. They both had 86 games played in one season. Now normally a team plays 82 games, but depending on if the player gets traded, they could have played more games than the team they were traded to. So it kind of forces them to play more than 82 games. Most consecutive games played was Doug Jarvis with 964. He played from October 8th, 1975 to October 10th, 1987 without missing a game. That's 12 years without missing a game. most consecutive games played by a defenseman is Jay Bouwmeester at 737. Now Jay Bouwmeester still plays, but I don't know if I don't know if he's currently on that consecutive streak. Oldest player to play a game is Gordie Howe. He was 52 years old and 11 days. Most games by a coach in the Stanley Cup final. Dick Irvin had 5 with Chicago, 29 with Toronto, and 43 with Montreal, for a total of 77 games by a coach in the Stanley Cup final. Now let me put this in perspective. The maximum games you can have in a final is 7 in 1 year. So he had at least 11 years in the Cup final, which is one, like whoever wins the Cup final wins the Stanley Cup. So that's a very good record. So I'm going to go back to the gameplay here. As you can see, it's still 1-0. It's looking a little nerve-wracking for me right now as I'm defending very erratically. But, okay. Most games played in the finals was Red Kelly. He had 37 with Detroit, 28 with Toronto, and Henry Richard had 65 with Montreal. So 65 is the record by both of those guys. As you can see in the gameplay, I just scored my second goal. It's now 2-0. Most games won by a coach in the Stanley Cup Finals is Scotty Bowman. He had 36, 20 with Montreal, 4 with Pittsburgh, and 12 with Detroit. Okay, most Stanley Cups as a player was Henry Richard. He had 11 Stanley Cups. That is ridiculous. He got them in 1956, 57, 58, 59, 60, 65, 66, 68, 69, 71, and 73. That is a ridiculous streak of winning. Most Stanley Cups as a non-player was Scotty Bowman with 14. He had 5 with Montreal, 2 with Pittsburgh, 4 with Detroit, and 3 with Chicago. The most Stanley Cups combined, player or non-player, is Jean Beliveau. He has 17. He has, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 as a player, and that makes 7 as an executive, which probably is coach or general manager, or I don't even know if owners might count. But I don't think he's an owner. I think he might be a general manager or coach or something. As you can see in the gameplay, they just scored on me. It's now back to a 1-goal game, which I obviously don't like. I don't want that to happen. Okay. Most different teams won by a Stanley Cup. That did not make sense. Okay, the player with the most Stanley Cups with different teams, I think is that what that means. Jack Marshall and Happy Holmes both had 4 Stanley Cups, all with a different team, I think. I don't know, that's kind of a weird category on Wikipedia. Don't judge me. Yeah, I'm just going to skip over these ones. Okay. NHL Awards. Most Hart Memorial Trophies. Wayne Gretzky with 9. As you can see, I just scored my 3rd goal. I made it a little bit easier on myself. Okay. Most consecutive Hart Memorial Trophies is Wayne Gretzky with 8. Now, a Hart Memorial Trophy is the player judged most valuable to their team. Okay. Most Ted Lindsay Awards, Wayne Gretzky with 5. So far Wayne Gretzky has a lot of the awards records. The Ted Lindsay Award is the National Hockey League's most outstanding player in the regular season. most consecutive Ted Lindsay awards, also Wayne Gretzky with 4. Most Conn Smythe trophies, Patrick Waugh with 3. As you can see, the Red All-Stars have brought the game within 1. It's getting hectic again. So most Conn Smythe trophies, Patrick Waugh has 3. That is for best goaltender. The most consecutive Conn Smythe trophies, there were 2, Bernie Parent and Mario Lemieux. Wait, I think I may have messed up one. Yep. Conn Smythe trophy is not the best goaltender. Conn Smythe trophy is the most outstanding player in the playoffs. Excuse me. So Patrick Waugh had 3 most best player in the playoffs, and Bernie Parent and Mario Lemieux both had 2 in a row. Okay. Most James Norris trophies was Bobby Orr with 8, and most consecutive James Norris trophies was Bobby Orr with 8. The James Norris trophy is for best defender in the league. Most Maurice Rocket Richard trophies, Alexander Ovechkin with 5. Most consecutive Maurice Rocket Richard trophies, Alexander Ovechkin with 4. The Maurice Rocket Richard trophy is awarded to the player who scores the most goals throughout the season. And I know he just won this award about 1 day ago, and I doubt it's been updated, so that might be 6 now. And I'm pretty sure he won it last season, so the streak might be continuing. Most Art Ross trophies, Wayne Gretzky with 10. The most consecutive Art Ross trophies, Wayne Gretzky with 7. The Art Ross trophy is the player who leads the league in points at the end of the season. That's goals and assists. The most Frank J. Selke trophies is Bob Gainey with 4. And the most consecutive Frank J. Selke trophies is Bob Gainey with 4. The Frank J. Selke trophy is awarded to the player, the best forward, who also plays good defense. If you're not familiar with hockey, this is going to be confusing to you. But it's what's called a two-way forward, is a player who is very good at scoring goals and good on offense, but can also be reliable for defense. So that's what that trophy is awarded for. Most Lady Byng trophies is Frank Boucher with 7. And most consecutive Lady Byng trophies, Frank Boucher and Pavel Datsyuk with 4. The Lady Byng trophy is the most sportsmanlike player of the year. The William M. Jennings trophy, the most, is a tie for Patrick Waugh and Martin Brodeur with 5. And the most consecutive William M. Jennings trophies is Patrick Waugh and Brian Hayward with 3. That trophy is for the goaltender who allows the fewest goals. Most Vezina trophies, this one is best goaltender, I am sure of it now. Most Vezina trophies is Jacques Plante with 7, and most consecutive is Jacques Plante with 5. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right, it's very French. Okay. Most Jack Adams awards is Pat Burns with 3, and most consecutive Jack Adams awards is Jacques Demers with 2. The Jack Adams award is awarded to the best coach of the season. Okay, now we're going to get into a couple of the more notable records. Most goals in a career is Wayne Gretzky with 894. Most goals in a playoff career is Wayne Gretzky with 122. Most goals in a career, including the playoffs, is Wayne Gretzky with 1,016 goals. Most goals in one season is Wayne Gretzky with 92, and that was in 1981-1982 season. As you can see in the gameplay, it's getting down to the end of the game. An NHL game is only 3 periods, and it's still 3-2, so I want to goals in one playoff series. It was a 6-game series, and he scored 12 goals. Averages 2 goals a game. It's very good. Most goals in a Stanley Cup final is Cyclone Taylor, Frank Foyston, and Babe Dye. They all had 9 goals in 5 games. As you can see, I just scored a goal. Extend the lead a little bit, but the game is not over. It's not over until the last second ticks off the clock. Most goals in the finals for a career is Maurice Richard with 34. As you may recognize from his name, the trophy for most goals scored in a season is named after him. Most goals 50 games from start. Most goals in 50 games from the start of the season is Wayne Gretzky. He scored 61 goals in the first 50 games of the season. And he did that twice, in 1981 and 82, and in 1983 and 84. Fastest 50 goals from the start of the season, Wayne Gretzky, 39 games. And so he scored 50 goals in 39 games. Most goals in one game, Joe Malone, 7 goals. That record was set in 1920. Most goals in one regular season game, Joe Malone, 7. It's the same record. Most goals in one regular season home game, Joe Malone, 7. Same record. Most goals in one regular season road game was Red Berenson with 6. That was in 1968. Most goals in one playoff game was Newsy Luladon. I don't know how to pronounce that. Maurice Richard, Daryl Sittler, Reggie Leach, and Mario Lemieux. They scored 5 goals in one playoff game. Alright, we just entered the final minute of the game. Will the Red All-Stars be able to come back? Most goals in one home playoff game, Maurice Richard, Daryl Sittler, Reggie Leach, and Mario Lemieux with 5. As you can see, I just scored my 5th goal. It looks like I've now put away the game. A 3-goal lead will be enough with 45 seconds remaining in the game. Okay, let me read one more fact to finish us off. Actually, I'll read a couple. Most game-winning goals in a playoff one season, Brad Richards, 7. Most game-winning goals career, Jaromir Jagr, 124. Most game-winning goals in a playoff career, Wayne Gretzky and Brett Hull with 24. Most game-winning goals in a playoff series, Mike Bossy, 6-game series, scored 4 of the winners. Okay. That's almost going to wrap us up. You see this game has a little less than 30 seconds remaining. And let me read a couple more facts for you here. Okay. Most points in one playoff series, Rick Middleton scored 19 points in 7 games. Most points in the final one series, Wayne Gretzky with 13. Most points in the final for a career is Jean Beliveau, 62. Most points in one period is Brian Trottier with 6 points in one period. Which is crazy. That's 6 points in 20 minutes. Alright, and we have time for one more fact. Most power play goals in a career, Dave Andreychuk with 274. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
The game is over. The Red All-Stars saw the ice tilted every period against them, and they went hurtling back toward the boards in a heavy collision. My goodness, this was something.
They were skating uphill all night long and had no response all night long.
So ends another game and another telecast. We hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.